my name's Cathy. Welcome to Lunar Birds Book Club. Hello, so this today is going to be my January wrap-up for January 2025. Normally, I like to do a reading journal where I record clips throughout the month of my reading and then put them together at the end of the month. But for January, I haven't filmed any clips. This month just completely ran away from me. So instead of doing a journal kind of thing, I am instead just going to do a wrap-up. If you can hear noises, I think that's Orla coming down the stairs. Are you there, child?
Hello.
Hello. I'm just filming a bit of Lunar Bird.
I'm making a magic teddy school.
You're making a magic teddy school?
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you need this room to do it in?
Yeah.
Can I have like 10 minutes and then you can have this room?
Okay, yeah, it'll probably take me 10 minutes to get them all down anyways.
Okay, cool. So this is going to be a short vlog because all it is throwing teddies down the stairs outside to make a magic teddy school. So yeah, no journal clips, just a straightforward end of month wrap up. So yeah, and in January I finished 2 books and I'm currently reading 2 books. So this is a very neat and orderly wrap up. So books that I finished. The first book that I finished was an audiobook and that was The Golden Couple by, I'm gonna have to look up who it's by Sarah Pekkanen and Greer Hendricks. So The Golden Couple is kind of a thriller and it absolutely got me hooked. There's more teddies coming down the stairs. So The Golden Couple is a thriller and it absolutely had me hooked at the beginning of this month. Okay, it's a couple who I think are called Melissa and Robert go and see a controversial therapist to resolve some issues in their marriage, and on the first session Melissa reveals that she's had an affair. But the therapist in question isn't your traditional therapist because she's recently lost her license. But the therapy in question isn't your average therapist because she's recently and famously lost her license due to her controversial methods. So she can't really advertise herself as a psychotherapist anymore. She's like a relationship consultant and she promises that she can bring any situation around within 10 sessions. And as she starts trying to help this couple, scandals and secrets spill out and you get the feeling that there's more people involved in this mess than what first appears. I don't really want to say too much about the plot because part of the fun of this is how it all unfolds, but it's very fast paced. You've got some characters in that I really believed in, and it did keep me guessing. There was one part of it where I really thought I knew what was going to happen and I was completely wrong, and I was really delighted with that. It was a really good read. I really enjoyed it. Never heard of the authors before. Just stumbled upon it on my library borrow box app and just thought, yeah, I'll give that a go. I really enjoyed it, so that was a great hit. And then the next book that I finished in January is Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, the 5th book in the Stormlight Archive. This is a big book and it has taken me most of the month to read it. We're going to be doing an in-depth review of this soon. Rachel and I will review it together, and we'll probably do another vlog about whether our predictions for this book were right or not, because we did a predictions video for it. In summary, I would say this is a mixed bag for me. I have quite a few criticisms of it. I think structurally and pacing wise it's got issues and it really could have done with a stronger edit. And it kind of, I think my overall feeling of it once I'd finished is that the book feels unfinished. The storyline feels unfinished. It wasn't quite the full rounding off ending for this half of the Stormlight archive I was hoping for. But then I'm not sure if that expectation is fair because this isn't the end of the whole series, it's just the end of like the first half.
Rachel's going to be so mad at you.
Ola thinks Rachel's going to be mad at me for thinking this. I think Rachel's going to get it. So it feels a bit unfinished, and it also feels unfinished in that I think it needed a stronger edit. Yeah, so I feel like structurally and thematically it needed more work. And there's quite a few areas of it that needed more work, so that was quite frustrating. If you're going to devote, you know, this much time into reading a book, you want it to be high quality all the way through, and I feel like sometimes this wasn't. However, saying that, there is something about the Stormlight Archive as a whole, some undefinable quality that when I'm reading it, it does feel just wonderful. And I know this sounds really contradictory, but there is something about this world that's created and this set of characters that are very engaging. It's as if the whole of this series, saga, story is somehow more than what its individual elements make up. And I can't really qualify that or quantify it too much, but there is something about what this ambitious story is trying to do. It's hitting something that is very hard to explain or quantify. So I am glad I read it, and I still had a good time during a lot of the reading. As a whole, I think it needs work. So at its core, there's something really, really, really good, but some of the things around it need work. And we're going to get more into it in a more in-depth vlog. So I think that's all I can say about that for now. I feel like if you've got through the first 4 books of the Stormlight Archive, you're going to read this regardless of what anyone says. So I don't feel too much pressure about whether to recommend it or not. But that was my experience reading this book. The core is good, but it needs editing. I need some work. And I'm hoping for more for the second half. And I will still be reading the second half, hopefully in 7 years' time, God willing, and all of that. So those were the 2 books that I finished. I am currently reading 2 books. So the first is an audiobook that I'm listening to. It's called The Word by John Barton.
Oh yeah!
I think its full title is The Word on the Translation of the Bible by John Barton. So again, I'm listening to this on BorrowBox. So this book is about the translation of the Bible. It's non-fiction. It's written by an Oxford scholar who has spent years studying this area of translation and biblical studies, and he's explaining the history of the translation of the Bible, looking at different versions and comparing where they're different and different approaches to translating the Bible. And so far I am finding it fascinating. It's not one that I can just like race through and listen to non-stop. It's very informative, it's very thorough, it has lots of citations, and it's really good at presenting different arguments of different approaches to translations and what that means. And it's using really good examples to show you the difference between different translations. So I'm finding that really, really interesting. And then the second book that I'm currently reading is The Winter Spirts, Ghostly Tales for Frosty Nights. I think I've read the first 3 or 4 stories in this collection. There are 12 in total, and the first 4 have been disturbing and insidious in the best possible way. I'm enjoying that. I love a good ghost story, and this is me trying to read a few winter themed books before spring hits. So I've got this one and 2 other books that have like winter in the title that I want to read before the end of February, and this is the one I'm starting with. I really enjoy short story collections, and I saw this in shops again and again and again before I decided finally to get it. And those are all the books I read in January. I'm hoping to have read a few more by the end of February now that I don't have a big mammoth book to get through. I hope you had a good reading month too. If you read any absolutely amazing books in January, please let me know in the comments. We release new videos every Wednesday and Friday. It'll be Rachel's January wrap up on Friday, so keep your eye out for that. Thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Goodbye.
Okay, you can now make your magic animal school. So these are the teachers of the magic school, and the students are over here. It looks like a great magic school, Lola.